Hello everyone, myself Deepa Singh, working as Assistant Professor in Gandhia School of Pharmacy, SGU, Jaipur. Today we discuss about parenteral product. In this, we continue next topic, that is lyophilized product, container and closure selection, and what are the container closure used for these parenteral product. In previous lecture, we already discussed that all remaining parameter of parenteral product. So this is a continuation topic of parenteral products. In previous lecture, we already covered what is a parenteral product, definition, classification, and condition that is required, buildings or maintenance that is required for parental product. All this we covered in previous lecture. So today we discuss about lyophilized product and container and closure used for the parenteral and selection of these container and closure. This is a topic of industrial pharmacy, one subject, fifth semester subject. Before starting this topic or this lecture, you should know about the basic object or learning objects. These are the learning object. In this, you should know about brief introduction about the types of the container. Means what are the different container available for the parental product or type of the container that is available for manufacturing of a parental product. The sterile powder, what is a sterile powder, lyophilized product, and packaging container or these type of the formulation that you should know. These formulation are come in a parental product, sterile powder and lyophilized powder. Other than this, you should know about the packaging container, which packaging container used for packaging of a parental product, types of the container, different container used for uh, packaging of these parental product, and different types of equipment used for parental, which equipment you use for manufacturing or uh, for that particular parental. So you should know about all these learning objects in this lecture. Now we start this, and this first is what is packaging. So packaging, you should know that introduction regarding the packaging means you cover or you pack your formulation in a specific container or in a large volume, or maybe transfer again in a container is known as packaging. Material used for packaging of a parental products, and proper selection of these parental product packaging material is very important, because it is also responsible to contaminate your product or may affect your formulation. So when we see the packaging in this, parental preparation and other sterile product must be packed in the right way. Means parental preparation are very sensitive, you know that, and it is prepared by sterilization technique or other aseptic condition. So it is very required or important parameter that you should pack in a proper aseptic condition or in a proper sterile container of your parental product, and maintain the product sterility until the time of the use. Not only during up to packaging the sterility is maintained, but up to at the last step or up to at least required date, it should be in a stable form or maintain their sterility or don't show any degradation or any decomposition or any other stability problem. It should be stable up to the expiry date. Next is prevent contamination of the content. And this product should have a prevention of contamination. Do not contaminate easily. We should use some preservative or any other material, so it do not contaminate easily or prevent the contamination also. Next is the type of the container. In this, 5 types of the containers are majorly used for packaging of parental product. Out of this 5 container, first is these ample, you can also say that not large, small volume parentals. And you can see the diagram or picture of these ampoules is this. And in this is the oldest type of the parental product container, are made entirely of glass and single use only. It's a small volume parental and it's a single use only, and it is completely made of a glass. You already see in the picture, and it used only once in a time because it have a specific single dose use, and it made of completely with glass, and you break down at the top and take precaution that these glass is not come in your formulation, and during when you administer your dose or your drug, you break down at the top of these container and take take the required amount of a drug to these ampoules. This is not use again. Maybe it's sufficient for single dose. Otherwise, it's a large amount, or you are require only small dose. And in this condition, you don't use this again because it's already in open condition, or there may be chances that it get contaminated after a few times. So it is also a single use ampoule. And in disadvantages, because glass particles may become dislodged during the ampule opening, the product must be filtered before it. You just breaking out these ampule at the top before using or before administration of the drug. So during breaking out these samples, there may be chances that some glass particle maybe goes in your solution or your parental product, or maybe goes in your container. So in this condition, you should filter these type of the formulation before administration, or make sure that no particle present in your formulation. This is the advantages, and this one is the oldest type of the container. Now there are different container are manufactured or modified. So this is overall good for a single dose, but only one disadvantage is some glass particle maybe goes in your formulation. So you should filter in aseptic condition only. So this is a disadvantage. Next is ampule. In this, they are intended for single use. We already see that it is only available for a single use or single use formulation. Because glass particle may become dislodged and during ampules, opening, the product must be filtered before its administration. It's a limitation. This is also one advantages due to the glass packaging material, glass nature. There may be chances that it is locked in your formulation or in your product also. So you should filter before using. And limitation in this unsusceptibility of multiple dose use. You don't formulate in this for multiple use. It is only single use, because after opening this ampule, it open, and there's no chance that you close or store or preserve your formulation. So due to some susceptibility problem of these container, it is not available in a multiple dose. It is available in a single dose. Next, in this, the need of filter solution before use. You should also require filtration before use due to this glass particle present in your formulation. So it is also one difficult task. In this condition, maybe some contamination is occur or some other problem may occur. So this filtration is also required for your solution before use, and other safety consideration is also less when we see the formulation in ampule. So these are some problems or some limitations of ampules. Next is vials, and this vials is the second container that you use for your parenterals. And in the second container, glass or plastic container are closed with a rubber stopper and sealed with aluminum clamp. Means mainly for parenteral, we are just using a glass as well as plastic container. Or majority of the container is a plastic, and these container have stopper or one cap which is made of aluminum clamp or aluminum material, which is sealed with your upper part of your parental or your plastic as well as glass container. You also see the image. This is an aluminum containing cap or stopper that you put on your glass container and plastic container. So these vials are mainly made up of glass as well as plastic also, and cap is made up of aluminum. And advantages over an ampule when we compare the ampules and vials. So these are the advantages of vials. They can be designed to hold multiple doses if prepared with bacteriostatic agents. Means you can also prepare multiple doses or more than one dose for this type of vials, or can you store these vials, because it have a cap, and but in this condition you should prepare your formulation with some bacteriostatic agent, or should add some excipient or preservative which is stop or don't exhibit the growth of bacteria. Then in this condition you also prepare multiple dose formulation or multiple dose in this vials, or you hold more than one dose. And this next is the eliminate the risk of glass particles to contaminate during the opening. In previous vials, we are just breaking cap or upper part of your vial, so there may be chances that the glass particles come in your formulation. But in this condition, you can also use a plastic container. If you are not using plastic container, then a glass container also have a one cap, and you easily remove these caps. So there's no chances of glass particle present in your formulation during opening. So these are some advantages. Means you also use this for multiple dose or storing more than one dose, as well as some particles or glass particle are also don't come in your formulation during opening. So these are the advantages over ampoules. Next is drawback of these vials, because every thing or every formulation container have some drawback or disadvantage. So in this vial, there is also one drawback. Multiple withdrawal as a multiple dose vial may result in microbial contamination. Means if you are preparing multiple dose formulation, then there may be chances that your syringe is not properly sterile form, or some cap also get contaminated during um, taking the sample or a drug, or maybe removing the cap, or any other multiple chances that maybe contaminate your formulation or result microbial contamination during multiple dosing, or when you uh, add the multiple dose in the vials. So there's a multiple problem, or not multiple problem, multiple chances of contamination or bacterial growth during the opening or using the multiple dose of your formulation. Next, third container is double chambered vial. You see that picture, this is a double chamber, look like this, one chamber and second chamber, this two chambers. And some drug that are unable in a solution are packed in a vials in a powder form as sodium chloride for injection before use. Means in this double vial container mainly we preparing or storing powder preparation of a parental product, and these powder is you reconstitute or convert into solution form before using, and this solution form convert with the help of sodium chloride sterile solution for injection. And if some drug are unstable in solution or not properly show stability in a solution form, then in this condition you prepare the powder form or packed in a powder form. So before administration, you can convert it into solution form. Next is some of these drugs come in a vial that contain a double chamber. Means these type of drug are packed in this double chambered vial, and these drug are maybe some powder type of formulation, and the top chamber is a sterile powder for injection, and the bottom chamber is reconstituted drug. Means in this there's two chamber, one is a top chamber and second is a bottom chamber. You already see the diagram, that's why it is known as double chamber vials. And the top chamber, there's a sterile water for injection that you use for reconstituent or preparing a solution. Means here sterile solution is also available in your chamber or in your container. And in lower or bottom chamber, there's a drug or reconstitution of the drug that is available in a powder form. So both are available in a container. Means there's a one reconstituent solution or water for injection, and second is a drug, and so you can easily reconstitute with the help of this solution. Next is the both chamber are separated by rubber closure. These two separation or two opening of chamber is mainly done with the help of rubber closure, so you do not have a difficulty to open, or no chances that a glass particle goes in your formulation. So you can easily remove the cap or open the formulation because it contains rubber closure, which is easily opened, as well as to dislodge the inner closure and mix the content of a compartment, and external pressure is applied to the outer rubber closure. Means there may be some dislodge in the inner closure is opening or maybe forming, and in this condition mix the content of the components you use, and external pressure is applied to outer rubber closure or outer part of your container. Next is pre-filled series. In this fourth container closure for parenteral is pre-filled series. In this pre-filled series, cartridges are designed for maximum convenience. Means it is a more appropriate, or you can say that maximum convenience of these pre-filled series. And in this maximum convenience is required, and it is a cartilage form and drug administered in emergency. These type of formulation is used for drug administration in emergency condition, or this is a cartilage form, or more convenience is observed when we compare with remaining four type vials, ampoules or double fills container. So this is more appropriate or convenience pre-filled series, and these type of series mainly used for emergency condition. In this pre-filled cartilage are ready to use parenteral packaging that offer improved sterility and accuracy. Means these type of pre-filled series are already filled with your formulation or with your drug. You can ready to use or you can easily administer without any accuracy or without any other precaution you've taken. So it's ready to use, that is filled form available in your cartilage, and it's ready to use for parental package and offer improved sterility and accuracy. When we see the accuracy and the sterility, then in this condition pre-filled series have a more accuracy and sterility because it's already filled in a syringe or available for ready to use. And when we are just packing this type of a container, then we should make sure that it is in sterile condition and we are just directly packed. And after packing, there's no chances that any contamination is takes place in the formulation. And after that, we can easily open and use this pre-filled series for administration. So it will show more accuracy and sterility, as well as they consist of a plastic cartilage holder and pre-filled medication, the cartilage with needle attached. Means in this there's one series. Other than these series, there also needle is also attached. Then you use this needle for administration purpose, and it have plastic cartilage and pre-filled medication is in this cartilage, and attached needle is also present in this pre-filled cartilage. And the medication is pre-mixed, means you also don't require any mixing condition or any mixing of your formulation. It is in pre-mix condition, so no medication is required to pre-mix in this pre-filled series. So we can say that it is a more appropriate or good formulation, that less chances of contamination, no chances of glass particle or any other problem. You can easily use and ready to administer type of the formulation. So there's no pre-mix condition is required or less chances of contamination, more sterility and accuracy of your formulation. So this is a good type of formula container even for parental product. Next, fifth container is infusion solution. And this infusion solution is divided into two categories. One is small volume parenteral and second is large volume parenteral. So these are the formulation or solution form available formulation for parenteral, which is available in two formulation. One is the small and another is large volume parenteral. The small volume, those having a volume less than 100 ml, means mainly both are the same solution or same preparation of infusion solution, and just container may vary. Some are available in small volume and some are available in large volume. If these solution present less than 100 ml, then you can say that it's infusion solution of a small volume parenteral. And if it's present more than 100 ml, then or greater than 100 ml, then you can say that it's a large volume infusion solution. Now these are the containers that we already see 5 types of the container. And this first is we see vials, ampoules, and double chamber container, pre-filled series, and infusion solution. So these 5 types of the container we already see. Now we see the packaging material that you use for parental formulation. Out of 2 types of packaging material used, one is glass. There's 2 types of packaging material, plastic and glass majorly used. Other than some other material are also used for capping and other purpose. In this first is a glass material. In this glass is the original parental packaging material as superior clarity. And so mainly glass is largely used due to the superior clarity or easily visible your solution. So these are more used, as well as when we see the contamination condition. So these glass are more sterile or less chances of contamination, don't show any itching problem, quenching problem or any interaction with your formulation. So this is a more appropriate, as well as contamination protection or transparency or clarity of the material. Next is compared to plastic glass frequency. When we say, see the plastic, so these plastic are not transparent, and but glass are the transparent to easily visualize the formulation. You can easily check some evaluation parameter due to the transparency. But when we see the plastic, so plastic is less frequency than compared to glass. And next, in this plastic polymer used for parental packaging, including polyvinyl chloride and polyolefins. So these are the polymers that is mainly used for manufacturing of a plastic container. In this manufacturing of a plastic container or polymers, mainly PVC, that is polyvinyl chloride or polyolefins are mainly used. And in this PVC or polyvinyl chloride is flexible and non-rigid. Means this is a flexible in nature, and it has shown non-rigid property or less rigidity, and it's a very flexible in nature. When we see the polyolefin, it is a semi-rigid and it can be stored upright, and it's just opposite to PVC. PVC is flexible and not rigid, but the polyolefins is semi-rigid, or it is can be stored by upright condition. And in this next is equipment that you use for manufacturing of a parental product. And this first is a sterile garment cabinet, or you can say that here you store your material that is you use coming in the parental production area. So a sterile garment cabinet, you sterile all the not container garments or your material that you may become contact in your parental product formulation. So with the help of this equipment, your garments or your gowns or any other material easily sterilized. You just put in this sterile garment cabinet. There's no specific work or specific personnel is required. This is sterile garment cabinet. And in this, you can say that this sterile garment cabinet is made up of stainless steel, or nature or material that you use for manufacturing of this machine is stainless steel, and assure a clean storage space by making use of UV disinfectant. Means you should clean storage is required, or space should be clean condition, not any contamination material present on that particular area. You should be time to time clean, or you remove excessive material which is present in this cabinet. So it should be assure that clean storage space for making use of UV disinfectant and heating through IR lamps. Means in this cabinet, mainly sterilization takes place with the help of UV and IR. These UV and IR help to sterilize your garments or any other material with the help of this cabinet. And these cabinet may be designed in a horizontal air flow system and clean air through HEPA filter. Means in this there's a HEPA filter are attached, and horizontal flow of the air is takes place, and continuous HEPA filter is worked, and due to this HEPA filtration it worked in a good quality or in a proper way. So you can say that this sterile garment cabinet is a stainless steel form available, and this is sterile garments or all the material that you use for parental production, and this is don't have any material or proper space or clean area required for sterilization. And in this mainly sterilization, we are using IV and UV and IR, that is ultraviolet or IR radiation for sterilization. And in this, there is a cabinet present, and through this, there is a horizontal cabinet is present, and these cabinet helps to flow the air in a proper way of maintaining the flow system. And in this, there is a HEPA filter is also present, and these HEPA filter clean pass the clean air and helps to sterilize or remove the particles or any unwanted foreign material. So HEPA filter is also attached in this sterile garment cabinet. Next is cooler and cold storage. If some formulation is required cooler condition or cold condition, then in this condition you should have a cooler or these equipment to store these formulation, because it is stable only in a cold condition. If we don't store in appropriate condition in a cold condition, then there may be chance of it get contaminate, or maybe the formulation also get degrade. So these type of a container is mainly used to provide the cold storage condition or cooling effect to a formulation. Next, in this HEPA filter, what is a HEPA filter that you already know about something about a HEPA filter? It is a very important filter, or you can say that the working condition is also very good for a parental product, and it can interrupt almost all the particle up to small to larger size particle, and it have a FESC that is 99.97%. And HEPA filter can be removed at least 99.97% of airborne particle in 0.3 micron in diameter. Means a particle size diameter up to 0.3 micron easily interrupt or come contact in this HEPA filter, or 0.3 up to 0.3 micron diameter particles show the good efficacy in HEPA filter, or in HEPA filter show up to approximate 99.97% efficacy of their particle, whose diameter is up to 0.3 micron. And these HEPA filters are composed of a mat of randomly arranged fiber, that is polyvinylidone chloride, that is PVDF. Means there's a randomly arranged fiber is present, or these HEPA filter contain large number of fibers, or these fibers are randomly arranged, and these fibers are mainly made up of PVDF, that is polyvinylidene chloride. So this is a randomly arranged fiber in HEPA filter. And key metrics affecting function are fiber density and diameter and filter thickness. So you can say that the key metrics affecting the function fibers mainly depend on the density and diameter and filter thickness, which filter you are using, and thickness of that particular filter, and diameter as well as density of that filter. These are the key metrics or key factor that is responsible for affecting your formulation. In this, you first make sure to check the fiber density, thickness, and diameter. And the air space between the HEPA filter fiber is much greater than 0.3 micron or 3 micron. Means there is a fiber present or air space present between these HEPA filter fiber is greater than 3 micron, and the common assumption that HEPA filter acts like sieve where particle smaller than largest opening pass through is incorrect. Means you can say that these HEPA filter is not only a specific particle and trap, but in this there the filters are present, or these filters acts like a sieve, or that can easily entrap the particle, and smaller as well as larger particle, so it can not pass through that particular area, or proper entrapment of that particle through this sieve takes place. Next is a smaller pollutant and particle are mainly trapped. A smaller pollutant particle or some particle which is present in this trapped in the HEPA filter or in this filter, and they stick to the fiber, and one of the following three mechanisms, that is interception, impaction, and diffusion. These are the three mechanisms that we observe in HEPA filter, or the entrapment takes place by three mechanisms, that is interception, impaction, and diffusion. Next is laminar flow hood. And this laminar flow hood is also one of the part of HEPA filter, or you can also say it's another part. And in this, clear air work benches are specially designed to assure the aseptic preparation of the sterile product. Hence, there's a different benches are available, and these benches are assured that your product in an aseptic condition or proper sterile condition, where you don't contaminate or free from microbes. And airflow rate takes place through this filter, and airflow rate is 0.3 meter per second in vertical direction, and 0.45 meter per second in horizontal direction. So these are the two flow rate of air in the laminar flow hood. Means both horizontal and vertical flow takes place in this laminar flow hood, and just speed is maybe vary in this vertical and horizontal. For vertical, it's a 0.3 meter per second, and for horizontal, it's a 0.45 meter per second. Next, in this introduction of a personal equipment and material into the work area provide, means a specific condition or personal condition or equipments and material also used for this work area provides such sources of a particulate matter which may be contaminate the product. Means different personal or equipments or material also provide for work provide which is access particulate which may be contaminate the product or responsible for contaminating the product. And very small particles are not heavy enough to settle only to the force of gravity, and but instead are carried out and directed by air current. When small particles are not enough to settle down, and you can say that very small particles are not heavy enough to settle down only to force of gravity, but instead are carried out directed by air current, and there is a turbulence here, and particles may be driven into product. Means the small particles have a less chances to settle down, and due to this some driving force or some gravity force, it helps to entrap or settle down. And these particles have a turbulence flow or provided by turbulence flow particle, so it can travel into product or easily get entrapped in laminar flow hood. Next is syringe filling machine. In this, we are filling mainly syringe, or you can say that it's a syringe filling machine. And in this characteristics is barrier isolator. There's a one barrier isolator is present, or you can say that it helps to proper isolation or helps to product in a proper condition. And next, in this process check weighing, that is also another process method. In this, you check your formulation during the process or during the manufacturing. So with the help of this machine, in process checking is also possible. Next is the filling. In this, rotatory piston pump is present. With the help of this rotatory piston pump, filling is done or syringe are filled, and volume or capacity of this syringe is 0.2 to 29 ml. So you can see that there's a barrier isolator or in process check weighing machine is present, and filling is done with the help of a rotatory piston pump, and capacity of this filling is 0.929 ml up to. And when we see the filling, all type of the syringes include glass, plastic can be filled. Means this machine is not only for a specific material, but it can be fill all type of the material. Or filling is done both type of the material, maybe it's a glass material or plastic material. Means both glass and plastic syringes are filled with the help of this machine, and capacity of syringe filling is approximately 300 to 600 syringes in a minute. Means in a single minute, up to 300 to 600 syringes are filled with the help of this syringe filling machine. Next is ampoule washing machine. This machine is not used for packing, but this is used for washing purpose and ampoule washing purpose. And the process of this machine is water spray onto the ampoules and turn to angle of 180 degrees Celsius with their mouth down to remove the water. Means you spray the water onto the machine or onto the ampoules, and the spraying of the water to this is mouth downward to remove the water, and angle is approximately 180 degrees Celsius for this process. And finally, the ampoules are filled with compressed air to remove the residual water. Means these ampoules are completely filled, and after completely filled or finally ampoules are filled with compressed air to remove the residual water. If any residual water is present, then in this condition you remove these residual water or your ampoules are completely filled condition. And certain machines have a high temperature zone made for killing of any bacteria. These machines also have some specific temperature or high temperature set. Due to this high temperature, there may be chances that if any bacteria or any contamination material is present, it can easily kill or it kill all the bacteria at a high temperature. So this is mainly for washing purpose to use, where the water is sprayed onto the ampoule, and this spraying is approximately 180 degrees Celsius for mouth downward, and which remove the water, and it can easily clean the ampoules and fill the compressed air, and this helps to remove the bacteria. Instead of this, there's a temperature condition. Temperature is also remove or kill the bacteria that may be present in your ampoule or your container. Next is a vial filling machine. So this seal vial and bottles are mainly used for this filling of this machine, and liquid, viscous material, suspension and powder you fill. Means these machine also helps to filling the vials as well as some bottles, and in this vials and bottle you prepare or fill the formulation of different type of formulation. Maybe a formulation is a liquid state on a viscous material or suspension or in a powder form. So these type of the formulation that you fill in your bottle or in a vials, that is maybe liquid, viscous material, suspension as well as powder. Next is the process, how this filling process is done. In the process, the machine comprised of intake section which loads the vials. Means there's one machine which intake these formulation or loads the vials and bottles after intaking the formulation. And next is transfer to intermediate transfer section. Means first filling is done or intake of a formulation is done, and after this, these transfer to intermediate transport section or any other transport section. And liquid filling section is filled with vial and predetermined quality. Means quantity means first you fill, and after this you transfer to another transport area, intermediate area. And in this liquid filling section will fill with vials or predetermined quality. Quantity is done. And finally, the sealed and rubber stopper vial are released and discharged. At the end, after complete sealing or intermediate transmission, you provide one cap of stopper, one applied to a container, and this stopper is mainly made of rubber. And this rubber stopper vial is released and discharge your formulation. Means these machine is used for formulation or filling of not formulation, filling of vials and bottles. And in this vials and bottle, different type of formulation field, maybe suspension, viscous material, liquid, and powder. And in this way, the first step is intake of formulation in your container or vials and in a bottle. After this, taking or filling of this material, the bottles or your container goes to another site or intermediate transport site or section. And after this filling section, there's a one predetermined quality is checked, and then one stopper or one cap is applied, and which is made of rubber to a container. So this is cap is have an easy property release and discharge of formulation. So this is a process for while, and this is a fully automated inspection machine. In this, no manpower is required. This is a fully automated. You just set all the readings or all the parameter and start flowing your formulation, and it can easily transfer from one section to another section or another station. Or there's no thing, nothing is required to set or put your material or your container closer. It's a fully automatic. There's some starting setting parameters required or installing of particular packaging material and formulation is required. Otherwise, it's fully automated machine that work completely by yourself. Next is ampoule filling machine. This is also used for filling of ampoules, and in this filling range of these machine is normally between 1 to 20 ml. Means capacity of this ampoule filling machine is 1 to 20 ml, and it fill up to 1 to 20 ml of formulation in the ampoules. Next is a feature of ampoules filling machine. In this, accumulate a variety of ampoules in terms of shape and size. Means there's a different shape and size of ampoules are available. According to these variety of size and shape of the ampoule, these filling is done. And no ampoule, no field capacity and check weight machine of machine has to maintain the consistency in each batch. Which not only filling is sufficient, or you can say that these ampoule is also checked or properly weighed that it have sufficient consistency or required amount of field or not in that particular batch or each batch. And sealing is done either by laser sealing system or conventional gas flame. So there's a sealing system is also observed. If you seal your formulation, then laser sealing or conventional gas flame sealing will be used. And next is application of ampoule filling. In this pharmaceutical and nutraceutical type of the formulation you use, or your formulation if you are in a pharmaceutical and nutraceutical in nature, then you can easily fill by using this ampoule filling machine. Next is SIP system, and this for inline sterilization of various processing equipments, handling various biological solution mixture require cleaning and sterilizing these equipment from time to time as susceptible to contamination. Or proper SIP integration with pharmaceutical equipment is very important to overall success of the operation. You can say this is a very important equipment or system that handle all over the material or formulation or mixture solution, or it is a very contaminated or susceptible to contaminate. So you should check this equipment proper time to time and make sure that there's no contamination is occur and it's in proper sterile condition, or it helps to sterile your formulation, mixture, solution, and biological product. And these is integrated pharmaceutical equipment, which is very important to overall success of your operation. Next is manufacturing of a parental product. In this lyophilized product mainly we see this is a procedure where the batch initiation or first to start formulation or starting selection of a batch, then a dispensing of a formulation. After that, bulk solution preparation is done. And before doing this, you check the product quality and QC analysis is done. If it's a field, then you reject or start from initial step. You take another material. If these quality control test is passed, then start pre-filtration, and then sterile filtration is the another step. And next is the filling is done after sterile filtration or completing of the formulation. Then half stoppering is done and don't complete stopper applied to the product. Then lyophilization, and after this lyophilization, there's a full stoppering is applied, and then sealing of your formulation. And then after sealing or during sealing, there's another quality test is applied, and you check that quality of a product. If you fail, then you reject your formulation. Otherwise, if it will pass, then you inspect your formulation and packaging is done and ready to shipment or come in a market. So this is the procedure for lyophilized product. Now, what is a lyophilized or freeze-dried product? In this lyophilization of freeze drying, the process in this water removed from a product after its solution and placed under a vacuum, allowing the ice to change directly from a solid to vapor without passing through a liquid phase. Means in this mainly freeze condition or freeze drying is required, and frozen condition is required. You are applying some pressure or frozen condition or at a high vacuum formulation. Due to this frozen condition, your solid don't convert it into liquid, but it directly converted into vapor condition without passing through liquid phase. And the process consists of three separate unique interdependent process. That is, three processes: freezing, primary drying is also known as sublimation, and secondary drying, that is zero absorption. So these are three processes for this lyophilization. Next is advantages of lyophilization. In this, easy of processing liquid, simplifying aseptic handling, enhance the stability of a dry powder, removal of water without excessive heating of the product. There is no heating is required. Cold condition is required. With the heating, excessive material or excessive water content can easily remove through your formulation. Enhance product stability in a dry state. Rapid and easy dissolution of reconstituent powder. Next is disadvantages of this lyophilization: increase handling and processing time, need for sterile dilute, about reconstituent cost, and complexity of the equipment. Time is also more required. Cost is also high, as well as some reconstituent sterile condition is also required for this lyophilized product. Next is lyophilization process generally include the following step. In this, dissolving the drug and excipient in a suitable solvent, generally water for injection. Means you don't use this in a dietary. There's reconstituent or converting a solution, this powder form, and sterilizing the bulk solution by passing it to 0.22 micron bacteria retentive filter is used, and filling into individual sterile container, that is partially stopping container under aseptic condition is also required, and transporting in a partially stoppered container to the lyophilizer and loading into chamber under aseptic condition, and freezing the solution by placing the partially stoppered container on a cold sleeves and a freeze drying chamber on pre-freezing into another chamber. So this is also lengthy procedure, and applying a vacuum to the chamber, heating the shelf in order to evaporate water from a frozen state, and complete the stopping of the vials, usually hydroalcoholic or screw rod stopping mechanism installed in the lyophilizer. So this is the procedure how you formulate, and after formulating you take precaution during storage or during administration. So it is a very lengthy, time consuming as well as high cost formulation. There's a many new parental product including anti-infective biotechnology, the right product, in vitro diagnostic manufacturing, lyophilized product. These are type of the formulation in by lyophilization, that is anti-infective biotechnology derived product or in vitro diagnostic product. Additionally, infection heavy distributes potency, sterility, stability problem associated with manufacture and control of lyophilization product is also required. After completing this lecture, these are the learning outcomes that you should know. So in this learning outcomes, first is brief introduction about the type of the container, that we already see the 5 types of the container. So you should know detailed description about the type of the container, different type of the container. Sterile powder, what is the sterile powder that we are using in a formulation, reconstituent these type of the formulation. What is a lyophilized product, how we manufacture, or some condition that is required for this lyophilized product. So description regarding this lyophilized product, packaging of a container, which container or equipment is used for packaging of a parental product, type of these container, and different type of equipment used for the parental, which equipment is used for filling, sealing, and for different formulation of a parental product. So you should know about these learning outcome after completing this lecture. Next is the reference part of this topic. In this reference part, first is Ansell Pharmaceutical Dosage Form Drug Delivery System, 8th edition by Lois V. Allen, Nicholas G. Popovich, Howard C. Ansell, published by VI Publication Pvt. Limited. Second is Textbook of Physical Pharmaceutics by CVC Subramanian, published by Bhalla Prakashan. Next is the Theory and Practice of Industrial Pharmacy by Leon and Lackman. Habits, Lieberman, Joseph L. King, 3rd edition, published by Legacy Publishing House. Next reference is Martin Physical Pharmacy, Pharmaceutical Science, 5th edition by Patrick J. Simcoe, published by Lippercott, William and Belkin. So these are the reference. All references are good for this topic. You can use any one reference or in a combination. Next is the question part, which is related to this topic. After completing this, you can easily answer this question. In this first is, gases do not have a role in which of the following parental operations. First is surface area measurement, B is lyophilization, C is a distillation, D is a melting. And second question, a solvent that dissolve in a lyophilized powder or diluent a solution. A is a diluent, B is a solvent, and C is a third question, which of the following packaging material is product or drug contained against the light? A is plastic container, B is amber glass container, both plastic container glass container. B is not mentioned. So these are the four options. Next and fourth question, non-pharmaceutical additive is formulation and ingredient must be highest watt and lowest watt. B is the watt parental for is most common for all injectable products. C is the process in which you produce product that loves the dry state. D is the since large volume of fluid is administered, what must they have a contain? Next and fifth question, the thermal destruction when hydrated is the MOR the least resistance to. B is the three parental dosage form. C is the how do gases sterilize. D is the how does ionizing radiation kill. And in sixth question, the sterility testing, pyrogen testing, and leaker testing, and clarity testing, and particulate analysis testing. S is the disadvantages of parental preparations. B is the type of sterilization. C is the non-aqueous solution is to overcome what? B is the quality assurance of a parental products. In seventh question, substance such as solution, bandage, baby bottles, nipples. A is the why must the parental product be sterile. B is the how does ionization radiation kill. C is the application of ionizing radiation. D is the quality assurance of the parental products. In eighth question, the nature of a parental preparation and its ingredient is A. How does ionizing and radiation kill? B is the filtration and sterilization result in what? And C is the what are the formulation ingredients? And D is the what does the sterilization method depend on? Next, in ninth question, which of the following excipient may be used to limit the presence of microorganism? And liquid formulation, A is the purified water, B is the sodium lauryl sulfate, C is benzoponium chloride, and this. Next, in 10th question, which of the following liquid dosage form requires a sterile formulation? A is the eye drop, B is a spray applied to the skin, C is shampoo, and D is the oral syrup. So these are the questions which is related to the parental product. You can easily answer these questions if you understand this lecture completely, or after understanding parental product from starting to this lecture. So you can solve this question. So thank you so much for watching and listening this video. Thank you everyone.